one of the greats in our business, a sweetheart, Mr. Red Buttons.
Nahava Salem Beheshis Roel Amicho Vitohod Troy Rohu Mitzvoy Hoki Mumish Pohotim Oh, sonu limadita baba viva baba. And now, another beautiful refrain from the high holidays. Of course, I missed Yom Kippur too. But I did cleanse myself because this last year I robbed, I stole, I murdered, I killed, I rebelled, I tumbled, I whatever, the terrible things that I did. Kindandan sano obishimet nagara. Hanayome go Jehovah Nazena kuhu dalo. I'd like to see a show of hands of people who remember this little refrain. This was a Japanese song from Sayonara. But if that doesn't sound Jewish, no wonder they blame Pearl Harbor on the Jews. Tonight, it is my great pleasure and my great honor to present Fyvush with the New York Alumni Man of the Year Award. Fyvush and I have a lot in common. His father came from Warsaw. My father came from Warsaw. We are Warszawa. He was a New Yorker through and through. He was born in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Must have been a jailbreak today. Brownsville, Brooklyn gave the world Murder Incorporated. A nice little fraternal organization to control the population of the world. You could go either way for 3 miles and not leave the scene of the crime. Fyvush and I, from the same era, and we walked hand in hand to the promise of America. Freedom. Freedom to pursue our dreams. I made it. Fyvush didn't. That's show business. Fyvush drifted into the Yiddish theater. Wonderful, wonderful theater, which was located on the Lower East Side on 2nd Avenue. Great neighborhood. A woman says to a pushcart peddler, "How much for that spoon?" He says, "A penny." She says, "Too much." He says, "Make me an offer." The Yiddish theater, the audiences were twice as funny as anything that was happening on the stage. This is a true story, but I will repeat it again. Matinee idol, we'll call him Tomaszewski. Didn't happen to him, but it's a nice name. I like the role, Tomaszewski. He's in the middle of working, and all of a sudden, boom, he falls right down on the stage, and he lays there. Hush came into the audience. Stage manager walked out, circled him once, lifted his head up, and made the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tomaszewski is dead. A guy in the balcony yells down, "Give him an enema." Stage manager says, "It wouldn't help." The guy yelled back, "It wouldn't hurt." That's where Fyvush came from. Paul Muni, Edward G. Robinson, Laurence Olivier. Little humor, folks. He learned his business well, and he traveled, and he worked, and he raised a wonderful, wonderful family. And he's getting this award tonight. For me, the award should be for his kindness, for the goodness in his smile and in his heart.
We brought out a lot of stars that came. Menashe Skulnik and Molly Pecan. All these big stars. Skulnik was one of my favorites. He was my mentor. And he was very unique. He was that tall, but his talent was that high. All he had to do, thank you, is put on his little hat. Hello. You know me. I'm Menashe Skulnik. Hello. Till I got married, took me a long time. I met a girl, I introduced a girl to my father. I said, "Pa, this is the girl I'm going to marry." He looked at her and he said, "Menashe, you can't marry this girl because this girl is your sister." So I met another girl, introduced the other girl to my father. He looked at her and he said, "Menashe, you can't marry her either. She's also your sister." I became wild. I ran to my mother and I said, "Ma, what kind of a husband did you take?" Every girl, he says, that I introduced him, he says, "I can't marry them because that girl is my sister." But you know Yiddish mamas. My mama says to me, "Menashe, marry whoever you want. Is nicht dein Tate." For the band, marry whoever you want, he's not your father. A Fiddler on the Roof. Sounds crazy, no? But in our little village of Anatevka, you might say that every one of us is a fiddler on the roof, trying to scratch out a pleasant, simple tune without breaking his neck. It isn't easy. You may ask, why do we stay up there if it's so dangerous? We stay because Anatevka's our home. And how do we keep our balance? That I could tell you in one word. Tradition. Because of our traditions, we've kept our balance for many years. Here in Anatevka, we have traditions for everything. How to eat, how to sleep, even how to wear our clothes. For instance, we always keep our heads covered and wear these little prayer shawls. This shows our constant devotion to God. You may ask, how did these traditions get started? I'll tell you, I don't know. But it's a tradition. And because of our traditions, everybody here knows who he is and what God expects him to do. And here is Tevye coming home for Sabbath, coming down the lane with his milk cans, coming here to visit for the Sabbath, and here he is. Oh, dear God, you made many, many poor people. I realize, of course, it's no shame to be poor, but it's no great honor either. So what would have been so terrible if I made a small fortune? You know what they say, when a poor man eats a chicken, one of them is sick. Oh, if I were a rich man, all day long I'd bitty bitty bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a bitty bitty rich, yida-deedle, dida-deedle man, I'd build a big tall house, rooms by the dozen, right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with real wooden floors below. There could be one long staircase just going up, one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere just for show. I'd fill my yard with chicks, turkeys and geese, ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can. And with each like a cat, take a kid, take a cat, would land like a trumpet on the ear, as if to say, here lives a wealthy man. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd bitty bitty bum. If I were a wealthy man, hey! If I were a bitty bitty rich, yida-deedle, yida-deedle man, I see my wife, my Golda, looking like a rich man's wife with the proper double chin, supervising meals to a heart's delight. I see her putting on airs, strutting like a peacock. Oi, what a happy mood she's in, screaming at the servants day and night. The most important men in town will come to fawn on me. They will ask me to advise them, like a Solomon the Wise. If you please, Reptevye, pardon me, Reptevye, posing problems that would cross a rabbi's eyes. Ba-ya-ba-bee-ba-boom, ba-ya-ba-bee-ba-boom, ba-ya-ya-ya-ba-ba-ba-ba-boom, boom. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they think you really know. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I lack to sit in the synagogue and pray, maybe have a seat by the eastern wall, and I discuss the holy books with the learned men 7 hours every day. That would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd bitty bitty bum. If I were a wealthy man, hey, wouldn't have to work. made a lion and a lamb. You decreed I should be what I am. But would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man? Wonderful to sit here in the shade when none of the woes of man are made. I'm glad I'm not young anymore. Oh, the rivals that don't exist at all, the feeling you're only 2 feet tall. Oh, I'm glad I'm not young anymore. No more confusion, no morning after surprise, no self-delusion that when you're telling those lies, she isn't wise. And even if love comes through the door, the kind that goes on forevermore, forevermore is shorter than before. Oh, I'm so glad that I'm not young anymore. The tiny remark that tortures you, the feeling your friends won't like it too. Oh, I'm glad I'm not young anymore. The longing to end a stale affair and then to find out she doesn't care. Oh, I'm glad I'm not young anymore. No aggravation, no star-crossed lover am I. No more sensations, just one reluctant reply. Lady, goodbye. Oh, that fountain of youth is dull as paint. Methuselah is my patron saint. I've never been so comfortable before. Oh, I'm so glad that I'm not young anymore. Youth is dull as paint. Methuselah is my patron saint. I've never been so comfortable before. Oh, I'm so glad that I'm not young anymore.